Hi everyone, welcome again in my channel. Today we have to read aloud about Fairy Tale Treasury Book 1. And we have three contents here: Hansel and Gretel, Aladdin, and the Three Little Pigs. We started now. Fairy Tale Treasury Book 1, Brown Watson, England. Hansel and Gretel. In a wooden cabin at the edge of a thick, dark forest, there lived a poor woodcutter and his wife. They had two children, a boy named Hansel and a girl whose name was Gretel. Times were very hard, and more often than not, there was barely enough to eat. "We cannot go on like this, wife," said the woodcutter one night. "And what about the children?" she sobbed. "Suppose we die before they do? Who will look after them?" "If we leave them in the forest," said the woodcutter, "at least they will have nuts and berries to eat, and noblemen out hunting might find them and give them a home." Next morning, there was only a crust of bread for the two children to share before they all set out for the forest. Only Gretel saw Hansel putting it into his pocket. Then Hansel crumbled the bread, ready to drop a piece every few paces as they went through the forest. Now he thought they could find their way back home. After they had gone quite a distance, the woodcutter made a fire to keep the children warm. Stiff and tired, they lay down, hardly caring where they were. Next thing they knew, it was completely dark. "We're lost!" Gretel kept crying. "How can we see the pieces of bread to guide us home now, Hansel?" On and on they walked through the forest, their feet becoming blistered and sore. Suddenly, Hansel stopped. "Look, Gretel, smoke coming from a chimney." Gretel could see nothing, but as they came nearer, the children saw a funny-looking cottage with a pretty little garden and flowers that sparkled like sugar candy. Delicious!" cried Gretel, picking a leaf. "Try some, Hansel." But he was already taking bites of sponge cake tiles and wondering if the marzipan roof tastes as good. Suddenly they heard a voice crack and whizzing. "Who is there? A little mouse? Who is nibbling at my house?" It was the ugliest old woman they had ever seen. Gretel turned to run, but the woman spoke kindly. "Hungry are we? Come inside. I have plenty of food to spare." Hansel and Gretel had never seen such a meal. How could they have guessed that the kind old woman was really a witch who lay in wait for children? "A pity they are so thin," she cackled to herself as they slept. "Still, that makes the boy light enough for me to lock him up in my cellar without any trouble." Early next morning, Gretel was awoke by a hard kick. "Get busy, you little wretch!" screamed the witch. "Fetch some water and light the fire." Gretel was too frightened to disobey. "You can cook a meal for your brother," the witch went on. "I want him fattened up before I ate him." and every day the witch came to see how fat Hansel was getting. "Let's feel your arm," she would scream. Hansel always held up one of the boys Gretel passed to him. Lucky for Hansel, the witch could not see further than the end of her nose. "Too thin," she would screech. "Still too thin." At last, the witch decided she could not wait no longer. "Girl," she screamed, "stoke the fire and get the oven hot. Fat or thin, I mean to eat your brother." Hansel was amazed to see Gretel obeying so calmly. "Please," he said after a while, "will you check to see if the oven is hot enough?" The witch dashed forward at once, rubbing her hands greedily. At the moment she put her head inside, Gretel pushed as hard as she could and slammed the door shut. With trembling fingers, Gretel unbolted the entrance to the cellar. "Come out, Hansel," she cried. "The witch cannot harm us now." But Hansel refused to leave the cottage without taking as much of the witch's treasure as they could. They would never need to worry about being cold or hungry again. How happy they were to hear their mother and father calling them through the forest. They had been searching for their children from the day they had left them. Laughing and crying, it was hard to believe they were all together. "At last," said the woodcutter, "we can go home without any fears. We are a family again." Well, that's the end, chapter 1. Thank you.